What's going on, everybody? Blade 55555 here, and today I am presenting to you two build orders for the Chinese civilization. The first build order I'm going to be going over is by Anomie, and what his build is he starts Song Dynasty before 5 minutes, but he starts a second town center at around 5 minutes and 50 seconds. The the second build order we're going to go over is the one I saw in Puppies in the Open Invitational, where he starts his Song Dynasty, I believe, at about 4:20, 4:30, but he doesn't get his second TC started until around 6:15. The point is really, I'm going to put two good build orders that I think are probably the best build orders for China at the moment, and then you guys can decide which one you like more. Either way, let's just start right into the action of going over Anamis here. So what you want to do is you want to start off putting all 6 villagers on wood. You're going to put your sheep near the town center, and you're actually going to put the mill near the town center and not next to the berries like you do for most Chinese openers. The reason for this is because you want to minimize the tax collection walking distance between the Imperial Academy and your mill, and you also want to make sure your Imperial Academy can get your mill plus wood, and I believe you can also get the stone right here as well. Because if you do put it here, sometimes you can't get both your wood and food with the Imperial officer or with the Imperial Academy. So that's kind of the point. So you're going to do 6 on wood. Once you do 1 trip of wood only, you're going to build the mill. And then you're going to, on your next villager, so you're going to go Imperial officer. Then on your next villager, it's going to go straight to gold. So by this point in the game, we have 6 on food, 1 Imperial officer, 1 going to gold. And then we're rallying more to food until 8. Once we hit 8 villagers, we're going to go swap more to gold. And I'm just going to play this in 1x just so you can kind of see this. Don't want to accidentally miss anything and go into good detail on this build. You are only going to keep your original scout, so do not make a second scout. If you do, that delays the timings by at least 20 seconds on everything. And you're going to notice here that so 8 on food, and now we're going to rally the next couple villagers to gold. We do have a lumber camp set down but not being built. That doesn't matter. You can wait till the villager is going to go to wood before doing that. And we're just going to see 3 on gold, and then I believe is when we start switching to wood here. And so what makes this build really good, and along with the other one I'm going to show later, is the fact that you have Song Dynasty obviously really quick, and then your second TC is done by probably 6:15, give or take, which just allows such a very, get your boom off a lot sooner. As we can see here, so I was wrong. It's actually 2 on gold and then 1 on wood. This is why I'm doing it in slow motion. I did watch this before, but I obviously forgot that part. So then you're going to put a couple on wood here, keep the 2 on gold. Whenever you get 40 gold on here is when you want to use your Imperial Officer to take the tax, put it into the town center, and then put it back to supervising the mill. This allows you to get that gold sooner so that you can age up. And then I actually believe it's 3 on wood, and then we start transitioning back, but we'll see in a second if I'm right or wrong on that. And then we're aging at about 246. And again, you want to make sure you get the mill and the lumber camp. That is pretty important to the build with the Imperial Academy. I think you could have put the Imperial Academy here, and I think it gets all 3. And I think it would get your stone too, but I could be wrong on that one. But you're going to notice we're going to stick to the 3 on wood, the 2 on gold, and now we're going to start rallying back to food. The reason why we're rallying to food is because we want to get that Song Dynasty ASAP. That is one of the important factors of this build, or in China, for China in general. For those who don't know, that gives you a 35% reduced villager time production. So it just makes you obviously produce 35% faster with villagers. It's, I think, 13 seconds instead of 20. Pretty big deal. And then we're still going to keep these 2 on gold because, again, we do need that 200 gold before we can get the Song Dynasty here. And so while we wait for that, we're going to, I assume, just take the taxes here. We're going to make a second Imperial Officer immediately after, and we're still going to be rallying to food. You should be able to start Song Dynasty within about a minute from now, about 4 minutes 50 seconds to 5 minutes with this build version of the build. I think there could be slight modifications to this to potentially make it so that you can get Song Dynasty quicker, but I would have to test that myself. to know for sure. Oh, with this version, I should state. I've been doing the other version, which is going to be puppies, which we'll go over later. Then we're going to pull the villagers off of gold here, put them on, looks like wood, and then we're going to use the song, or not the song, we're going to use the Imperial Officer to just gather gold, because we're going to be able to gather 40 gold from this pretty quickly, from the mill, and get to that 200 gold relatively quickly. You want to get to probably 80 gold before you pull your villagers off of the gold mine, so that you make sure you have enough to actually get that second TC. And then as you're going to see, we can start the Song Dynasty at 450. Obviously, we're just a tad late on getting it started, but at 450 is when they had enough resources for the food and gold. And then you're going to pull almost all your food villagers, except for one, so 10 in total. Put them on stone, supervise with one of your imperial officers. The other one's going to be going for the wood. Then you're going to pull the two off of food, put them on wood, and then any new villagers. You want to make sure you have a production of at least 4 villagers on food, and then you're going to put new villagers onto food so that you don't run out of food while you're waiting to get the wood and stone. And then at this point, you're just going to keep rallying to food. Nothing else you need to do with this right now. It's more of just a waiting game, waiting for that 300 stone, and then the obviously for song to finish, and then the wood. So should be coming here shortly. In about 8 seconds, we're going to be putting down the second TC, which you're going to see right about now. And at 5:51, we have the second TC started, and Song Dynasty is finishing at 5:53. This is a really quick timing, and I kind of want to point this out there is that when I was doing as a Chinese build was very inefficient compared to this, and I actually first got my eyes opened by these new Chinese builds during the open tournament a couple weeks ago or weekends ago. I think it was a couple weekends ago. Maybe it was last weekend. Whatever. Anyway, the whole point is the build I was doing was you would start your Song Dynasty at 5 minutes and you would start your second TC at 7 minutes. As you can clearly see, this one is not only more efficient, you start your Song Dynasty sooner than 5, and you have your second TC started by 5:50 approximately. And now the other build order I'm going to be going over is a very general same type of deal, except it's going to be Puppy's build order, or this is who I saw do it first. I don't know if he created it, but and what his is you start Song Dynasty quicker, but your second TC also starts 20 seconds later at about 6:15, and you'll be seeing that here in just a moment. All right, and here's going to be Puppy's version of the fast Song Dynasty into this 2 TC. It's going to be they're going to have similar openings to the other one I posted, but I decided to add, just add this one as just another way. So you're going to start out with the 6 on wood, then you're going to drop, then you're going to build the mill. I start with a villager and then an imperial officer. That way we can get a house and then start working on that mill and get working on those sheep. So I will say I couldn't open, unfortunately, the tournament game that Puppy played. For some reason, the mod won't let me, so I had to do one really quick against the AI so I could show you the build. So as you're going to see, you're going to get once you get 1 trip of wood, you'll make the mill. You're going to do a very similar opening to before. You're going to get 8 on food. Whenever this gets to 40 gold, you're going to take the Imperial Officer, take it, and put it there. So I just want to state while we're kind of waiting for this to go a little bit, because you're going to do 8 food, then 3 gold. I didn't know this until the open tournament, which for those who are unaware is what I hosted. It's on my Twitch channel if you want to watch any of the games, is that you can start Song Dynasty while you're aging up as China. I actually did not know you could do that to the feudal age. I guess I never thought about it until I saw that. So as you're going to see here, though, we got the villager going to gold. We're going to do the very same opening, 8 food. So it goes 8 food, 3 gold, and then you're going to rally a 9th villager to food, and then you're going to switch 3 to wood. And you're going to advance with the Imperial Academy with 1 villager instead of 3 like we saw in the Anomie's build if you watch that part. In this one, I actually get the second TC started at about 6 minutes and 7 seconds. And then Song Dynasty starts at about 4:25, 4:30, if I recall. But you'll see for sure in this video, of course. And then, so as you can see, we got to 40 gold, dropping it off. You love the little, when the shift command doesn't work and you tried to go back. And then you're going to see, here's our 9th villager going to food. And again, I could skip through forward some of this, but I figured it's a short enough video that just want to make sure we don't miss anything. You don't miss anything. And you're going to see this 9th villager kind of go there right now. And then we're going to swap it over to wood, where again you're going to put 3 on wood. And the reason why you want 3 on wood is a couple reasons. You want to be able to build a house so you don't get housed, and then you also want to start getting that wood for that second TC as well. And then you're not going to pull the villagers from here until you start Song Dynasty. So a little bit easier than in terms of how to do it than the Anomie's build, but I don't think it's that much of a difference. You're going to see at 250 we could start aging up. And I do cancel this right about now because I realized I could get all 3. This is, if you can get all 3 under your Imperial Academy, you should always do it. And then you're going to notice we're going to keep rallying until we get that 3rd wood villager, 1 on Imperial Academy. We still have the 9 on or 8 on food because we took 1 from food to build that, and then the 3 on gold. And then once we get that 3rd wood villager on here, we focus the town center back to the mill here, and you're going to, or not mill, the sheep, and you're just going to keep rallying villagers to food until you have Song Dynasty started. So in about a minute, roughly, you're going to see Song Dynasty start, and then we're going to pull our villagers, put them on stone, and then start getting more on wood so we can get that 2nd town center. And we're building that food up, getting closer and closer to 40 gold on there. And you can see we're getting, we're a little over halfway to getting Song Dynasty right now. This villager could be a little bit more efficient being over here, but that's just nitpicking my own build, or nitpicking the build, I guess, that I did. And as you're going to see, we have the 200 gold. We're going to pull these villagers off of gold here in a moment. Now, you do want to take walking time into consideration when doing Song Dynasty, right? Because in actuality, I can start Song Dynasty now, but I was going to kind of, in a real game, I would put the Song Dynasty probably here, depending on the matchup, but I decided to just put it here, just kind of showcase how quickly you can get it. At 425, we have it. We're still advancing to Feudal Age. And then we pull all but 4 villagers. You do want to keep 4 villagers on food so that you can maintain villager production. And you're going to put most of them onto stone. I rally new villagers to stone. We're going to be putting 6 on here. When this finishes, these 3 villagers are going to swap over to stone as well. So in total, there'll be 9. I start supervising the stone with the Imperial officer. And I will state there is a slight mistake I could have done here, is I could have actually taken the gold from here with this Imperial officer and made a second one while doing this, just as an FYI, so I could have been boosting the wood and the stone. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, but it still could have made a little difference. I might have been able to get that second TC slightly faster, but that is besides the point, really. But as you're going to see, we're just rallying to wood. Song Dynasty is done at 523. We have 200 wood, 142 stone. We're going to be at that shortly, and we'll be able to start our town center by about, depending on how good your opening is and you're not forgetting stuff, you should be able to get it started between 605, 615. Obviously, you do have to take walking distance into account, right? We're going to put our second TC here, so there's a bit of a walking distance that you have to take into effect before you can start the TC sometimes. And then you're just going to see me drop off the gold there because I was going to get a second Imperial officer. And then as you can see here at 557, we almost have enough. We're just waiting on the wood. We're walking over to go place it right now. And then at 606, we can start the second TC. And then that's it. So at 606, we start our second TC. We've had Song Dynasty for a solid 40 seconds at this point, or almost 50 seconds. And that's the build. So it's only going over to kind of the fast Song Dynasty and the fast second TC. What you do from this point, I'm not really going into too much detail because there's so many things that can happen, right? It depends on the Civ matchup and what your plans are. Like maybe in some games you're going to go fast castle straight off this. Some games you're going to be aggressive with feudal armies. And it's hard to say. So that's why I'm not going any further. I'm just kind of going over the first 6 minute, pretty much 6 minutes of the build order for both. I don't know which one is better. I haven't done the math into it or anything. That's why I put both Anomie's build and Puppy's build. Obviously, do what you think is better. I think both are fantastic and way better than the build I was doing before, which, like I said, if you missed it in the first video I kind of went over, I was starting Song Dynasty at 5 minutes, and I wasn't starting my second town center until 7 minutes. You can see how much of an improvement this is, right? We're almost a minute ahead when I start my second TC, and we were 40 seconds ahead on Song Dynasty on my old build. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think this build order, by the way, is going to be viable even in the next patch. That is also why I'm doing this. I'm kind of holding off on other build orders for other civilizations because the next patch, for those unaware, there's a town center nerf where it costs an extra 50 stone and an extra 30 seconds build time. But I think that affects China the least out of all the civilizations in the game. So I think this build is still probably going to be the go-to in the next patch, and that's why I'm doing this now and not waiting for the next patch. But again, hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Feel free to put anything in the comments if you have questions. I do live stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, starting at about 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/blade55555. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.